Okay, Shannon, you can put us on the record. This is a matter of Hughes versus Short. Ms. Hughes and Mr. Short are both present. It looks like we're here on a motion to change custody, I believe. Yes. So, Mr. Short, you filed a motion to change custody. And we also have, I believe, a parenting time complaint. Let me make sure. Yes, complaint by Ms. Hughes, Mr. Short, that you denied her parenting time on May 29th. So before I address the parenting time complaint, Mr. Short, your motion regarding custody has a place for stating proper cause or changed circumstances. It also has a place for reasons for why to change custody. You didn't fill out either of those boxes.
Yes, I did.
Court,
I sent a big 2-page thing explaining why.
Well, hold on. Let me see if there's an attachment.
It was typed out.
All right, I do see that now. Give me just a moment. It was separated by a couple other documents. Oh, I see. And there was also, well, hold on a minute. So the motion regarding custody was dated April 26th. And then, although it shows it as being filed on May 18th, and then it shows there's also a motion regarding parenting time that's dated May 17th. So was this attachment to your motion regarding parenting time? Or did you file them all at the same time?
As far as I remember, it was all at the same time.
All right, so give me a moment to look at this. All right, there's some historical stuff in here, but it looks like the most recent. Well, let's just start with something on November 29th. Let me read this. All right. All right, so the recent events are all since the last time you folks were in front of me, I believe. So you indicate that the mother's girlfriend has put his hand, or mother's boy, wait a minute. Their mother's girlfriend has a guy living with them, okay, who put his hands on Turner, grabbing him by the arms, lifting him up, and shaking him.
Correct.
That Troy stays up all night playing video games and watching loud movies, keeping the children awake. Strangers in and out of the house that she's not paying attention to.
That's what I'm told.
There's an incident you refer to about driving down the highway with the children and her girlfriend smoking weed,
Yes,
but you didn't indicate a date for that. When was that?
that was sometime in the past. I'd say it was probably 4 or 5 months ago. The children told me. I instantly reported it to CPS, and they responded with, if you could believe it, we can't do anything unless she's caught in the act. But the kids flat out told me to my face, Turner's just like, hey, Dad, it wasn't provoked. It wasn't something that I searched for. He just was like, hey, I want to tell you this. And I was really taken aback by that. And he confirms that her and apparently their friend that lives with them or doesn't live with them, somebody named Becca, somebody else, was smoking it with her, going like 70 miles an hour down the highway. And he also stated that he would smoke even on just little trips across town. If she had to run across town to drop them off somewhere, she would have to smoke. And it's so concerning. She has a history of drug abuse, crack, meth, heroin, everything you can imagine. And this is absolutely not surprising, but absolutely at the same time, extremely alarming. It's taken me a long time to figure out, all these things.
All right.
I have.
All right, hold on.
End of court.
I'll get into details later. The next thing you assert is apparently the girlfriend's boyfriend has been putting on Ms. Hughes and her girlfriend's clothes. And one incident, he exposed himself to your twin girls. How old are the girls?
8 years old.
Your Honor, he did report all of this to CPS. They have come into my house.
Hold on, ma'am. Hold on. I just want to be clear on what it is he's asserting. I'm not accepting these as true or rejecting them. I just want to understand what he's asserting.
Okay.
And another incident of your twin girls twerking that was posted on TikTok. Do you have a copy of that video, sir?
No, I don't have a copy of it. This is all just what the kids have said to me with their own mouths.
Okay.
It's always something absolutely alarming. And unfortunately, all I can do is call CPS, and then it becomes he said, she said.
All right, hold on. Turner is a child that the two of you have in common?
Correct.
All right, so how old is Turner?
He just turned 10 on the 29th of May.
All right, and I'm reading a number of things relating to your wife's daughter's phone. Ms. Hughes putting her into an adult chat room, or
It was a group text between myself and her that she was told many, many times to remove my wife's daughter's number from this group chat, and she refused to. So everything that she was saying to me was being also sent to an 8-year-old, which was inappropriate. And my wife
I
actually
got you.
won a PPO against her for that, for also apparently driving by her place of work.
Actually, the PPO got moved to Judge LaFlamme due to it being a
Hold
family
on.
matter concerned with the family case when we talked to McBain about it.
But it was approved.
Hold on.
And my wife was also attacked by her live-in girlfriend recently. And she has a warrant out for her arrest for that.
All right, I got a good flavor for everything that's in here now. Ms. Hughes, where are you currently living?
The same place I have been for the last 3 years, 122 North Forbes Street, Jackson, Michigan, 49202.
And who all lives at that home?
Stacy lives with me. My 4 children live with me, and we have a roommate that stays from time to time.
Who is Stacy?
My girlfriend.
Stacy's the one that's accused of assaulting Mr. Short's wife?
Yes, due to a pickup. Actually, what happened is Ashley came out of the house when Stacy and her sister were leaving.
Hold on, I don't want to hear details now. I won't even remember them. I'm not taking testimony today. I'm trying to find out if there's a basis for me to revisit custody once again. Does Stacy have any children?
None biological.
Does she have any children, biological or not, that reside with her?
not that reside with us except for every other weekend.
So every other weekend, what children come to stay with you?
Her son Zane,
How old is Zane?
8, 9, 9.
And is Zane there when your 4 children are there?
Yes.
Who's the roommate that stays occasionally?
Troy.
How often does Troy stay there?
It's a couple days a week. He just started a job. That's why he started staying. He's been Stacy's family friend for 20 some years. So he was in a hard place, needed a little help. So we gave him a couple of days to stay in one of our rooms.
Or is he there now?
No,
Do you expect him back tonight?
I don't think tonight. I think maybe in a couple nights. He also stays at his sister's house as well. So
I mean, if all these things that Mr. Short says are true, particularly about Troy being able to put his hands on the children, exposing himself to the 8-year-olds, certainly would give the court a basis to revisit custody yet again.
most
I'm
definitely.
not here today to say whether or not these things are true. I can only decide those after I hear testimony.
Your
Although
Honor.
my concern is that the testimony's going to have to come from the children. Because Mr. Short, you don't have any firsthand information, do you?
Your Honor, not that I can actually say that I've went over and seen, other than the incident where my wife was assaulted and pushed violently to the curb. She actually had bruising on her back and her butt.
Were you there for that incident?
Yes, I was.
I'm normally reluctant to put kids in the middle of something, but what these 8-year-olds have told you about being exposed sexually by this Troy is extremely concerning to me,
Absolutely.
if true. And he's still being allowed back in the home. That's very,
Yes,
very
did an
troubling.
investigation on this situation, and we have a safety plan in place. It's an open and shut case that CPS did their investigation and found absolutely nothing was found true in those reports. They were all false accusations from Travis and his wife. CPS did talk to my children. Those are the strangers that are coming in and out of my house, along with police officers, due to Travis calling them and sending them to my house repetitively. So CPS, yes, has been in my house for these same exact accusations that you're bringing up right now. I would prefer you to talk to my children to get their standing on what's going on, because this is a mess. And Travis has continued to deny me visitations of my children. He refuses to take care of mental health of my children, such as taking my son to a counselor's appointment that was rescheduled twice in his week visitation last.
Hold on. So, I mean, this is all stuff that I would have to wade into, but you're telling me CPS has completed an investigation that involved interviewing the children.
Yes.
But you said they implemented a safety plan. What was the safety plan?
The safety plan was that Troy was not to be left home alone or around my children at any point in time. And that safety plan has been followed through 100%.
So whenever Troy is in the home, he's never allowed to be alone with the children.
Correct. And he has never left home alone with the children or in a room alone. Plus, I also have cameras in my children's rooms that record, and I can go back and look at any point in time in my children's rooms 100% of the time. Due to a game that they play at Travis's house, I had to implement security cameras in my house.
Do you know the name of the CPS investigator?
What was her name? It was Jen. Her card's around here somewhere. It's a very unique name. It's J. It starts with a J. I think it's like Genevieve. I have voicemails from her on my phone. I have communicated with her multiple times about this situation, and she confirmed to me that it was an open and shut case.
Okay, well, in any event, before I address that further, I want to talk about the parenting time complaint.
Your Honor, if I may,
Um,
Your Honor, can I just say one more thing before we head there?
Sure.
The number one reason, Your Honor, why I filed this motion was because if you look back to the court records, and you can see any time that I failed to appear, that's a time that Miss Hughes decided that, hey, you know, it's probably going to work better in my favor if Travis doesn't appear, and she flat out didn't serve me the court papers. Many of those
I
times,
served you, and the judge served you last time that order was changed.
Hold on.
many of
Hold
these
on, Ms.
times,
Hughes.
Your Honor, is when custody was changed. It literally changed from full custody in my hands to half custody, and then half custody to me only seeing my children every other weekend when I wasn't even allowed to be present. Now, my own ignorance made me fail the appeal process. I don't know how any of this stuff works. These are my only interactions with a court case ever. I have no criminal record, no money for a lawyer, or anything else like that.
Mr. Short, my recollection is that both you and Ms. Hughes entered into a consent order
No,
that placed the children with her.
no, absolutely not. I never once did that. I was not there when custody changed hands. I was not allowed to be. This is her tactic to win, Your Honor, is to not serve me my paperwork.
Judge
show up
LaFlamme,
and win by default.
All right. Well, in any event, hold on a minute.
I mean, this has ripped my heart out. You know, for the first 7 years of these kids' lives, she was there for 10% of the time. I mean, this is absolutely crazy to me that this is what's happened. I had to learn Your Honor, I had to learn from a Facebook post that I lost custody of my children. You know how that feels? I mean, literally a Facebook post told me that I had lost custody. And then like 12 days later in the mail, I get a certified thing telling me I had court 12 days previous. I mean, this has caused me extreme stress and anxiety. It's caused absolutely extreme depression. I've been at my wit's end. It's taken me quite a long time to figure this all out about how she's done this, but now I have, and that's what the basis of this whole motion is really truly about. If
I
she had,
wasn't responsible for making you aware of the next meeting with the judge. He sent that out, not me.
when you start the motions, it's your job to serve me.
You got the motions when I started them.
Prove it.
Stop speaking, both of you. I'm looking at one of the orders.
Your Honor, may I add something else?
I'm looking at something. Just hold on.
Okay.
And you folks have been back in front of me so many times, it's hard to keep it all straight. Mr. Short, what's your address?
318 Johnson Street, Jackson, Michigan, 49203.
So with respect to the current custody order, which was issued as a temporary order, Ms. Hughes wasn't the one that was to provide you with notice of that hearing. That notice was sent to you directly from this court.
For the last one?
I'm reading the order from February 19th. A hearing was held February 18th on the mother's motion regarding custody. Notice was mailed to both parties on February 11th, 2021. That notice was sent by my court. It was sent to 318 Johnson Street.
I do remember that, Your Honor. On that
It
particular
says
day,
it says you didn't appear. You did not appear for that hearing.
is that the day that let's see, February. This has been such a mess for me. Was that when custody was changed from half to her having primary custody?
Yes, and it was changed because you weren't getting them to school.
Okay. And
But it wasn't Ms. Hughes doing. The notice for that was furnished by my law clerk, and the order that resulted from that hearing was also mailed to you by my law clerk. It wasn't Ms. Hughes.
yes,
You
Your Honor,
didn't
I do
get it.
understand that. In those circumstances with the one that was mailed from your office, I spoke to your law clerk about it, and he had said that he had actually called me right after I missed court and said, did you realize we had court today? And I said, no, I was not aware of that. And he had told me that that's what he had thought, and he was going to send me the stuff out to appeal it and all this and that. I ended up getting the notice for that, Your Honor. I believe it was the day after court in the mail. I literally did not receive it. Between the mail running slow and all these other things, I mean, what am I to do when I don't get the notification for court until the day after court has already passed? whether it's sent by her or not, or whether it's sent from your offices. If I don't have the knowledge beforehand, I can't, just assume to appear. And that's another reason why this is taking me so long to figure out, Your Honor. Between the mail running slow and her playing this game. I mean, Your Honor, for the better part of a decade.
You keep telling me that. I'm aware of it. You don't have to keep reminding me. The order that was sent to you specifically provided you with the ability to file a written objection to that order.
And I did, and apparently I filed it wrong, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm not saying, when it comes
I don't even see it.
That's not
Well, in any event, whatever happened historically has happened. You have asserted a basis that would allow me to revisit the custody issue, but before I schedule a hearing on it, I'm going to get a copy of the CPS reports involved. I'm going to review them. I will determine after I review them whether or not I'm going to put any children through any further questioning. They've been caught in the middle of this for far too long as it is. So I want to address, that's what I'm going to do about your motion. I'm not denying it and I'm not granting it. I'm going to take it under advisement until I'm able to obtain copies of the CPS reports, and let's see what they say. I'll decide based on the CPS reports whether or not I'm going to hold yet another hearing regarding custody. Now, let's talk about the parenting time complaint. According to the complaint I've got, it says another complaint. So I don't know if there are other ones outstanding. I don't see any mention in the file of any other parenting time complaints. The only one I see, ma'am, is the one for, looks like it happened on the Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it was my son's birthday, the 29th. I requested service. I gave him his holiday. I dropped the kids off to him. Normal drop-off time on Friday. I requested in our talk to text parenting app, I requested him to drop Turner off with me at 9 a.m. so I can exercise my holiday with him for his birthday. And then I would drop them back off to him at 9 a.m. per the handbook order. And he flat out denied me, said I'm not doing it. I continued to follow through with his holiday. I sat at the police station for 15 minutes from 9 to 9:15. I asked him where he was. He told me he's not coming. And I came home because there wasn't nothing I could do.
All right.
And he showed up Sunday night.
Fair enough.
Your Honor,
I hear you.
In front of friend of the court.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Short, your position is because it was your weekend, you did not have to follow the child's birthday provision that's in the front of the court handbook.
The friend of the court,
right?
The friend of the court doesn't even know how to handle this themselves. I actually have an upcoming date with friend of the court with referee Mazer to handle this because the friend of the court didn't even know what to do. It was my Memorial Day weekend that I had plans for his birthday, which was my holiday, but then her holiday also fell in between there as well. They didn't really know how to handle it, and they said the referee will have to sort it out, and that's upcoming, I think, in the next couple weeks.
So there is a date
set yet for that.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Sometimes what they do is when they see that I'm having a hearing coming up, they will just ask me to handle it. Okay. I can't tell from this paperwork whether that's what's happened here or not. There's a note on it.
There's probably another upcoming child support order coming through with Jenny Stone due to the fact that Travis has stopped paying his child support yet again.
Well, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that the file that was sent to me for today has this particular parenting time complaint in it. It normally wouldn't have it in here unless they expected me to handle it. So it's in front of me. I'm going to try to handle it if I can. So the issue here is whether or not the holiday vacation time trumps the birthday time. right?
I asked him to
Mr.
allow
Short?
me to have his birthday with him. I would return him that night, like it
Hold
stated in the
on.
order.
No, no. I understand what happened, ma'am. You expected to have your son on his birthday because it's an odd number year, and in an odd numbered year, you get the day the child's birthday.
Correct.
Mr. Short's understanding is that his holiday weekend trumps the birthday. Is that, I mean, that's your position, right, Mr. Short?
Not necessarily that it trumped it. My position was just that it seems like, one of us was going to be screwed out of parenting time one way or another over this deal. Either I was or she was.
So he would screw me yet again.
Well, that's for you to have your son on his birthday in an odd numbered year. The only way that can happen is if your holiday time trumps the birthday time.
Yeah,
Whether you understood that or not.
Yeah,
Now,
I
hold on a
understand
minute.
what you mean. I never looked at a trumped versus, this takes precedent over this one. I never looked at it from that point of view. It just,
Well, you apparently took that point of view because you decided, since it's my holiday weekend, you're not getting your birthday. That's what you decided. So give me just a moment to look at the handbook and let me see if there's any conflict on that issue.
friend of the court said they had never dealt with this situation.
Well, whether they have or not, I'm going to deal with it.
Thank you.
I mean, it does say that all holiday parenting time shall take precedence over the regular weekly parenting time schedule. That doesn't help us here because we got two holidays in conflict. We've got a Memorial Day weekend, which belongs to the father in odd numbered years, but we got a birthday that belongs to the mother in odd numbered years. So let me read some more and see if there's an answer to this.
Okay.
The operative paragraph would appear to be the one that appears just before summer parenting time. Whichever parent is to have the children for the holidays of Memorial Day and Labor Day will also have the entire preceding weekend from Friday evening through the Monday holiday.
That's what I understood.
That's what it says.
Correct.
So
Saturday, the 29th.
Well, in any event, I think Mr. Short is right. If I read just that paragraph, it would suggest that he was supposed to have all the children for the entire Memorial Day weekend.
So then next year, I can keep Turner from him on his birthday year next year because it's my holiday.
Your Honor, also, I mean, if you remember back to the end of 2020, I got screwed out of Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's, seeing them at
And
all.
he screwed me out of Halloween and everything else. So, I mean.
Hold on a minute. I only award makeup parenting time if I believe parenting time was improperly withheld. It's not at all clear to me that it was improperly held here. Let me just see if the friend of the court is going to weigh into this. They have far more interaction with parents over parenting time and holiday issues. And I want them to address this, but let me see if there's something that's actually scheduled. I'm shocked it hasn't come up before. It seems like it would have, but
I thought it would be a pretty common thing.
I understand why there's a dispute here. All right. You know what I'm going to do with this? It certainly appears to me that Mr. Short's interpretation is a reasonable one. It also appears that Ms. Hughes' interpretation is a reasonable one. Before I take any action on this parenting time complaint, I'm going to initiate a discussion with the friend of the court and find out, at least moving forward, what kind of clarification might be issued. I'm also gonna, like I said, as to the motion for change of custody, I will obtain copies of the CPS reports and review them and decide after my review of them whether I want to wade into the custody issue yet again. And I don't remember, what's the summer parenting time schedule? Has that been addressed? Is that a week on?
The parenting time summer guidelines that I requested, since Travis did not, and that's the ones that we are going by. Right now they're with me for this week. This Friday he receives them for a week, and then start next week.
So yeah,
Friday, I will have them for 2 weeks, and then it goes.
So that's being addressed. All right. Well, good. I wanted to make sure at least that there wasn't any question about that.
There is a conflict with that, though, Your Honor.
What's that?
Turner is in counseling for his mental health, and his counselor made 2 separate appointments with him last week when Travis had them. And Travis refused on both occasions to take Turner to his counseling appointment. And it's pertinent due to the fact that Turner is being tested for PTSD right now due to the living situation with his father that he's interpreted the last however many years.
For whatever reason, he's being tested for PTSD. I want that to happen. Any reason you can't take him to these appointments?
And that's a problem.
Ms. Hughes, let me talk. Mr. Short, is there any reason you cannot take him to his appointments?
There's no reason in particular. When this just recently happened, she let me know like the day beforehand on both occasions, and I was just unable to fit that in with what was going on. I mean, if I don't know about it.
Ms. Hughes, do you know what the appointment schedule is moving forward?
It's usually every Wednesday at 4 p.m., but due to it being summertime, they moved it to a Tuesday for him last week. And then I told him on Monday. They also rescheduled it for that Thursday at 5 p.m. I told him that Wednesday when it got set.
All right. Going forward, when is the appointment?
Wednesday at 4. But the message is, Travis states he doesn't need it. So he refuses to take him.
Well, I'm addressing that, ma'am. If you just give me a chance. Are the appointments on Wednesday going forward?
Yes.
Mr. Short, I expect your son to be at those appointments on the weeks that he's with you.
Absolutely.
All right. And then I will let you both know as to what I'm going to do about the other things. You'll get notice.
Did you want me to wait to address taxes as well? Because last time I was in front of you, you told me to wait till I was in front of you again to bring that up.
I don't have anything in front of me today, and I've got other people waiting. If you need to file a motion, do it. If I have you back in here on Mr. Short's motion or on the parenting time issue, you can address it then. Otherwise, you can file a motion and I'll address it when you file the motion.
Okay.
I don't have any more time for you folks today.
All right.
Got another runaway?
Yes, sir.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, you're fine. I have court until 1. Other than that, I'll just be in the office anyway.
For bothering me.
Or bother Dawn. Thank you.
Got Don.
Did you need that other?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Kendall, I just didn't realize that I
Okay.
had more.
Should just be 1. I think that's yours.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I'll just pick it up.
Oh, you're fine.
It's for this afternoon.
All
That's
right.
from Lou.
Oh, okay.
See you all later. Thank you.
See you, Kendall.
I'm coming up here before I go down. Would you mind? I'll take that down with me. Favorite couple between.
Yeah.
Oh, we still have one more. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry, I thought you were
Oh,
done.
no problem.
I'll just leave this in there.
No problem. So I just let 2 telephone numbers into my courtroom. Let me ask, first of all, who is at 0372?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your name?
Brian Garner.
Okay, hold on. And who is at 3353?
Mrs. Corey.
All right, give me just a moment, folks, to write a note to myself so I don't forget to do something.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready now for the matter of Curry versus Garner. Give me just a moment. The issue here is there's not going to be any family visitation center very shortly, and we need to figure out how Mr. Garner can get visits with his children. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm looking at the summary from referee Murphy. Well, let me ask Ms. Corey, first of all, why is it that Mr. Garner only gets supervised parenting time?
Because when our CPS case closed and the children were brought back from foster care and reunited with me, Mr. Garner wasn't doing what he was supposed to on his end through CPS orders.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's helpful. So,
Yep.
And Mr. Garner, when there was an open neglect case, what was it that prohibited reuniting the children with you? Were they drug issues, alcohol issues, combination?
They was trying to say alcohol issues, but Your Honor, I have took like 30 drug tests through CPS. I passed every one of them. I had like 5 things that they wanted me to do. The last one, they put me in between a rock and a hard place. They wanted me to take an alcohol class 3 days a week from 9 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 9 o'clock to noon. I could not do that and work and keep my place. But that is the only thing that I didn't do, and I don't understand why that they was even enforcing that, because I don't have no alcohol issues on like any crimes. I don't have no drug issues in my life. I've never had no, nothing,
All right.
And
Hold on, Mr. Garner.
Okay.
So, when was that? Well, let me see. Hold on. I've got it right here. Well, I thought I had it right here. Give me a minute or two. So this parenting time has been in place. Looks like it started way back in October of 2019. So for the last year and a half, Mr. Garner, you've gotten only supervised parenting time, if any at all, through the Family Visitation Center?
Right, and actually it was semi-supervised. And Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Well, what I have to determine is whether or not it's necessary that you continue to have supervised as opposed to unsupervised parenting time.
Right.
Certainly, if whatever conditions existed that required that back in October of 2019 no longer exist. But the only way I can figure that out is by taking some testimony. So let me, Ms. Corey, do you still have concerns about Mr. Garner's safety around your children?
I do, and it's only because he doesn't see an issue with his drinking. He never has. and he didn't take the chance to get the help that he needed for his drinking problem. And throughout this whole thing, he has never thought that he had an issue drinking. And
Well, hold on. We know that certainly there must have been some kind of issue in the past. Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not he still has a problem with alcohol?
he tells me that he drinks maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and that's it.
Not true.
You just, hold on, but you doubt whether that's true. You think he probably drinks more than that?
I'm thinking he probably drinks at least 2 or 3 times a week.
When the two of you were together, did the drinking pose problems for you?
Yes, he was abusive when he was drunk. There was actually a time that he went to jail for hitting me while I was pregnant and holding one of our children at the same time.
That's a lie.
All right, hold on. I'm just trying to get her perspective, sir. I'm not taking testimony today. If she believes there's still an issue, and you don't think there is an issue that would require continued supervised parenting time, the only way I can really change this parenting time order is to have an evidentiary hearing where there's an opportunity for evidence to be presented by both of you. If I'm satisfied that whatever drinking problems Mr. Gardner may have had or in his past, I'm likely to order some kind of unsupervised parenting time. If I'm convinced that he's still got an issue and it poses a risk of harm to the children, then I would probably keep some kind of supervised provision in place. But I don't know that until I have a chance to take testimony. So, Mr. Garner, I'm assuming you are gainfully employed?
Yes. I pay my child support. I work every day.
Where do you work?
I work for John's Fine Line Painting. I'm a painter.
How long have you worked for this person?
For 2 years. I think if I would have had a drinking problem, I wouldn't have a job.
And do you have any other children other than the?
Yeah. So I got, Your Honor, I got like 3 older children. I got a 12-year-old that I get regularly. I mean, he's dying to see his brother and sisters. I mean, I can go pick this kid up anytime I want. I don't have no problem with that baby's mom. You know, he's 12 years old. I mean, Miss Corey has got a very control issue when it comes to these kids. I mean, in the last year and a half, Your Honor, that she's had the kids, you know, she won't even let me talk to them. She won't let none of my family see them. I mean, she is very controlling with these kids. They got another whole family that loves them, that wants to see them, but they can't because Mrs. Corey is so controlling. And I just think it needs to come to a stop. You know, I've done this for a year and a half. I don't miss no visits. The ladies at the Family Visitation Center told me they don't even know why I'm there. They see how good I am with these kids. It's just a control issue with Mrs. Corey. I got a sister that hasn't seen them in 3 years. My older kids. Well,
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order an evidentiary hearing where testimony can be taken. As I've already indicated, if I determine that Mr. Garner does not pose an unreasonable risk of harm to his children, I'm probably going to order that he have normal friend of the court every other weekend parenting time, reasonable rights of parenting time. If I find there's testimony to suggest that there still are ongoing concerns, I'll address those concerns. I'm not sure how I would do that. It would depend on what the concerns are. But clearly we've got to do something because the Family Visitation Center is going to be closing. So,
actually, Your Honor, can I say this? Today was the last visit I could have down there, and I had to be down there at 10:30, but I couldn't make my last visit down there because I went to court. You know, and I would like to add this too. We had court last Tuesday. Mrs. Corey messaged me telling me that she agrees to let me have every other weekend if I keep them at the place I live at. She said that she'd put it in writing. She told me that she even told her kids that I'm going to start getting them regularly. So not only is she messing with me emotionally, she's messing with the kids emotionally too. This has just been going on too long. I mean, I tried to be able to email you, but I didn't have enough time to send you my, my screenshots of her agreeing to this every other weekend. But I didn't have enough time to be able to get her the documents too.
Well, I wouldn't. Yeah, hold on. Well, let me ask you, Ms. Corey, are you opposed to me giving Mr. Garner every other weekend parenting time on a temporary basis just to see how it goes?
I mean, I don't even know where my kids would be at this point because he lives in an apartment with another lady that throughout our marriage, he had spent the whole time going over to her house to drink and have parties over there. So at this point in time, I don't even know where my kids would be going if they did go with him.
So Mr. Garner, do you have room for these 4 children where you live?
Yeah, well, yes, I do, Your Honor. I got room for these children. And what the funny part about is what she's saying, she lives in a 2-bedroom apartment, Your Honor, with 13 people that lives in there. And that, I swear that on my life. And she's always brought that up with me taking these kids to a 2-bedroom when she lives in a 2-bedroom herself with 12 or 13 kids.
Is that true, Ms. Corey?
That's absolutely true, but all my children have beds. Every single one of my children have their own beds. They all have a place to sleep at night.
So if Mr. Garner has beds for all of the children, would you consider,
Your Honor.
Hold on. Would you consider doing this on a trial basis to see how it goes?
Would he be willing to show somebody somewhere that he has beds and let me know where my children would be in the process?
Mr. Garner,
I'm more than willing to do that, Your Honor. She knows exactly where I live. I'm on the lease there. She's been there. She knows where I live. I've been telling her where I live.
It sounds like she just wants verification that they all have beds to sleep in.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Are you willing to allow her to at least look and make sure that that's the case?
I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever.
So how about the first weekend when she brings the kids over, she gets to come in and look herself. And if there aren't enough beds for everyone, she gets to take the kids back home with her.
That is totally fine, Your Honor. I already got all the beds.
Ms. Corey, are you okay with that?
Perfectly fine.
All right, so let's do this. And are we ready to start this weekend?
I would prefer next weekend if possible because I do work this weekend.
Well, if you work this weekend, it seems like it would be a good weekend for the kids to be with him.
Exactly.
Just my daughter Gracelyn is not very good with change, and I would rather give her time to process it than rather just throw her into it.
How old is Gracelyn?
4 years old.
She has meltdowns during changes.
Mr. Garner, would you be okay with if she's showing hesitation about staying, that you let Ms. Corey take her and not force her to stay until she's ready to do
I've
it?
already told. Yes, Your Honor. I've already discussed this with Amber in a message. I even got it that I said if they really are very upset, of course it's going to be a change for them, Your Honor. I know that. But, I'm not just when they first cry, I'm not gonna, call Amber or Miss Corey, but if they really, act up and really, are very upset, then of course I will. I don't want my kids upset.
All right. Well, I mean, that's the way this should go, that the two of you are doing this cooperatively. You don't want your kids to have a meltdown over something like this. That's just going to make it harder. So
Right.
let's start it tomorrow. Normal weekends are 6 p.m. Friday to 6 p.m. Sunday. If any of the children have a meltdown, don't force them to stay. Let them go home
Right,
with their
Your Honor.
mom. And let's try this every other weekend thing. And I'll set a review date so that I can bring you back in and see how it's going. This will just be temporary, but it'll give you a chance to see your kids. I absolutely, Mr. Garner, do not want you drinking while the children are there.
Your Honor, I'm a responsible man. I mean, like I said, I got a 12-year-old, and I'm very responsible. And he is dying to see his brother and sisters. I mean, and my whole side of the family, they got a whole side of the family that they don't even know because Miss Corey has just not let nobody in.
Mr. Garner, we're trying to fix that now, okay?
Okay.
But I don't
I'm
want
sorry,
I don't want any drinking when the children are with you.
That's not a problem, Your Honor. You got my word.
All right, so we'll start this tomorrow. I will get an order out that reflects that this is temporary.
Okay.
If there are major problems, either one of you can get a hold of my law clerk and let him know, and we will schedule a hearing and get you in. Otherwise, I will set a review hearing in a couple of months to get you both back on Zoom and find out how it's going. If it's going well, I would expect we just make it a permanent order going forward. Until then, it'll just be a temporary order.
Okay.
Your Honor, can I
Ms.
say something?
Ms. Corey, just a second. Ms. Corey, are you at the same address you've been at for the recent past?
Yeah.
All right. And Mr. Garner, are you still at West Ganson Street, 527
Yes,
West
Your
Ganson?
Honor, I am. Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Corey.
Can we have it to where it's just dad and the kids for at least a couple of weeks and not everybody is thrown into these kids' lives at once?
I think that's wrong.
Hold on. I mean, who else is at this house? I mean, I'm not expecting other people who live there to leave. Who else would normally be there? And Mr. Garner, I don't have a problem with you on your time taking the kids with you to visit your family. Just keep them with you. They could certainly visit others.
Correct.
That's not a problem.
Yes, Your Honor.
But who else is going to be living at the house while they're there?
It's just me and my roommate. And she is an older lady. Like I said, you know, I mean, me and Miss Corey's talked about this. She was fine and agreed to this. But the thing is, Your Honor, she don't want my other family around my kids. She pretty much just said that right there.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I've even invited his
No,
other
I'm
family
just-
to come to my house and see the
I'm
kids
just
throughout the whole day.
addressing who else is staying at the house.
Just me and my roommate, and she's a 65-year-old lady.
That shouldn't be a problem, should it, Ms. Corey?
No, I'm just saying for the first couple of weeks, just let it be dad and the kids. Like, don't
Yeah,
try to throw
well, I
everybody at
wouldn't
them all at once.
If he wants to take the kids with him to visit his parents or to visit someone else, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want all these people at the house. And you probably should go slow. They haven't been with you in quite a while. They're not going to want to divide their attention. They're going to want to spend time with their dad.
Right.
So let's go slow. I think that's a good approach. But I'm not going to put a restriction in place. I just want you to use common sense. Don't overwhelm your children. You want this to be
Your
a good
Honor.
experience.
I totally understand that, you know. But, you know, like I said, it ain't like that I can like go visit everybody in one day. But like I said, I got family members that loves them, that hasn't seen them in a long time. I mean, they are going to be around. You know what I mean? It's my family. It's their family. You know, I am going to take it slow.
Don't overwhelm them.
Exactly. I understand what you're saying, Your Honor.
Okay, I will get working on an order. Just use common sense, folks. And Mr. Garner, I realize you don't like that the way things have gone in this case, and you have a lot of hostility towards Ms. Corey. I want you, when she's around and the kids are around, don't let that come out.
Oh, you're
Just
right, Your Honor. I will have the most.
don't
I will
let it
have the
come
most.
out.
Right. I will have the most respect for her around my children. That's their mother.
All right. I will get that temporary order out to you just as quickly as I can, and then we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so tomorrow I can expect them at 6 o'clock?
Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, but she gets to come in and make
That's
sure
fine.
that there's a place for them to sleep. And if any child has a meltdown, obviously I expect you both to do what loving parents do. Don't force them into a greater meltdown. That's only going to be hard on the other kids.
Exactly, Your Honor. I totally understand that. And like I said, I mean, if my kids are having a meltdown, I don't want them to have one, and so I will call her, and I already told her that. We already agreed to that actually last week. So, I mean, I don't want my kids, to be hurt and, upset, I mean, I love them, and I will definitely call her.
All right. Well, good luck, folks. I'll get that order out right away. That ends our hearing. Have a good day.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.